Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous layered toadstools papercraft project. This is a beautiful design with so many layers in all of the details, so make sure you pay attention to see which order to stick it all together in. If you like this design and you want some matching ones, check out the new Autumn Mega Bundle. More information about that is linked in the description of this video, or go to craftwithsarah.com/bundle-autumn to learn more. But for now, we're going to be making these toadstools, which is a completely free design, so let's find out how to get it. You can download the free cutting file for this project at craftwithsarah.com/free-SVGs, or follow the link in the description of this video to go straight to the download page. Download comes in a zip folder, and you need to unzip this before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the file, open up Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Go into Upload over on the left-hand side and then press Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or you can drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder and then select the file which begins SVG in the file name. That's the one that will work correctly with Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to drag and drop mine in, and then it should look like this with all of the layers one on top of the other. If yours looks different and you see the layers all next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file. So if that's the case, click Cancel down on the bottom and then try again and make sure you upload the one which starts SVG. But this is looking good, so I'm going to go ahead and press Upload. And then when it's ready, that will appear in my recent uploads. So I can click on it to get this green border around the edge and then press Add to Canvas. There's this really weird bug in Design Space at the moment where the grid lines keep coming back on for me whenever I upload an image or do basically anything. I prefer to work with the grid lines off, so I'm just going to click this little square at the top just in between the 0 and 0 to turn them off again. That's just personal preference though, you can leave them on if you want to. Alright, so this is what my design looks like, and you can see all of the layers down here on the right hand side. To check how many colours this is, you can click Colour Sync on the top right, and that will separate out the layers into the different colours so you can see exactly what you're going to need. If you want to simplify the colours, then you can simply click and drag and it will change the colour. For example, I just changed those leaves at the front to match that darker green at the back, so now I only need 2 greens instead of 3. But actually I do want to do it in the 3, so I'm going to click Undo to bring that back to normal. Alright, let's switch back to layers, and what you can do if you want to is hide the background so that you just cut out the mushrooms. So to do that, look all the way down the bottom of the layers panel and then click the eye icon next to that background, and then you see that one is all removed. And then you can't remove any more because the next one is what's making the spots in this big mushroom up here. Or toadstool, I'm not quite sure. I'm going to use mushroom and toadstool, both of them throughout this video. If you think it should be one or the other, leave me a comment and let me know which one you think. But anyway, that's how it looks with that background layer removed if you don't want to cut that one, but I'm going to leave it in. Alright, so you can resize the design by clicking on it. Make sure your padlock icon is closed. If it's open, then you can click it to close it. And then because that's closed, it means it will change size in proportion. So if I type 6 inches into the width and press enter on my keyboard, you see the height automatically changed as well, so everything remains in proportion. I'm happy with how this is looking, so let's click Make It. And then that's going to split everything out into the different colours and the different mats. I'm using A4 paper, so I need to change the paper size in here. And then you see this front one is going to need 3 different sheets. You can try moving things about by rotating them with the little rotate there if you think it will take up less space. I don't think I'm going to be lucky enough to get that to fit that way. No, it's too big. So I think I will need my 3 sheets for that colour. But let's have a look at the others, because you do need to change the paper size for every colour. So let's go down and do this. And you see on this one, that's split it onto 2 sheets now, but I think I can get that onto one. Let's give it a go. I'm going to click the 3 little dots and then move object. Make sure you choose the same colour of card and then confirm. It'll put it on top of the other bits by default. So I'm going to move it about and just have a play, moving all of these layers and rotating them. And now you can see I've managed to fit all 4 of those shapes onto one piece of card, whereas Design Space thought I needed 2, but nope, I can fit it on one, so I'm going to cut it on one. Don't worry that you've now got an empty bit of paper, because that will disappear when you click continue when you've finished doing all of your changes. So I'm just going to finish this. There we go. Now there's a little bug in Design Space at the moment where it's not always showing all of the mats. So you see I've only got 10 here. It doesn't go down anymore, but it says at the top, prepare 14 mats. So there should be 14 on here. A way to fix that is to click continue, and then it will connect to your machine. Mine's going to throw an error because I don't have my machine turned on. But when you look down here now, you can see you've got all of the mats. I've got 13, not 14, because remember one of them we made empty because we moved everything onto a different sheet. So that takes it down to 13. But these ones are all the wrong size because I couldn't change them before. So if you click cancel now, and then yes, it will take you back to this screen, and it's still saved all of our other changes we did. But now you can access those other bits. So you can change the paper size for those too. And that's just a little sneaky way to get around that bug that's currently in Design Space, where it doesn't always show you all of your mats on the first attempt. When you're happy with how everything is looking, go ahead and press continue, connect to your Cricut machine, and then get everything cut out from cardstock. Here are all of my layers cut out. Whoops. And I've just laid them on top of each other to check I'm happy with the colours and that I haven't missed anything. I love all of the earthy colours in these toadstools, and there are a lot of layers in this because this is already really, really thick along the leaves, and I haven't even got any foam squares in there yet. Now for layered designs, we want to work from the bottom and come upwards. So we need to move all of these bits apart. I'm going to try and keep them in sections just to make it easier when I've got to put them all back together again. Wonder if I can get all of that mushroom off in one. I can. Excellent. Oh, just one bit missed. We're now left with these 2 pieces, and this one we're going to use foam squares to give it a bit of pop out from that background. So turn it upside down so that we can add the foam. This is the foam that I'm using, but it's quite big. So what I've done is open another pack and cut them all so that they're half the size with a pair of scissors. That just means they go a little bit further and I don't have to use as many. And also the smaller size means it's much better for layered designs because they'll fit into our teeny tiny spaces that little bit easier. So I'm going to just add some foam all the way around here. You want to make sure when you're adding foam to large pieces of card like this, that as well as going around the edge, you also put some pieces in the middle, because if your middle doesn't have any foam, then it can dome downwards under the weight, especially when it's got other layers on top of it. But by adding these pieces in the middle, it gives it the stability, like a little platform for it to sit on, so everything will stay looking perfect. And now I've added the foam, I can peel the tops off to reveal all the stickiness underneath. Now I can put this onto my base. And what I'm going to do is line it up and then gently drop it down. And the reason for that would be that if it wasn't quite lined up right, I could easily pick that piece up without damaging anything because it hasn't actually stuck yet. That's looking good to me, so I'm going to push down to seal all of those foam squares. Next, I'm going to add the bright orange tops to these mushrooms with some other bits of foam. And I'm going to cheat a little bit and put the foam straight onto this piece. Just think it'll be a bit easier than trying to get it on those teeny tiny orange bits. And then stick these to the top. Right, next we have our big mushroom at the back, all of these pieces. And the next one to go on is the red, and this is going to be a glue layer. The glue I like to use is called Collal. It's really good because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like other glues can do. And then I put it into these needle tip applicator bottles to make it even easier to get the glue into the teeny tiny spaces. Other great glues to use if you can't find Collal are Barely Art glue, and that's spelt like the animal, the bear, with L-Y on the end. And also Art glitter glue, which doesn't actually have any glitter in it, it's just the name. But those are both really good glues for paper crafting because, again, they won't bend or wrinkle the cardstock. So I don't think either of those are available in the UK, which is why I use the Collal, but you should be able to find them in the USA, and I think maybe Canada too. Okay, glue that one on there. And then next we've got the piece to make up the underside. And again, this is a glue layer. There. And then finally for this one, the bit that goes on there for the detail in the bottom, which again is a glue layer. If you like the look of this design and you'd like other similar autumn-based designs, then check out my brand new Autumn Mega Bundle, which is on sale now. You can find out more by looking at my other videos. There was one a couple of days ago that talks all about it. Or go to craftwithsarah.com/bundle-autumn, and that will take you to a place where you can see all of the designs and find out some more information. Next, we've got the grass and then the stalk of this mushroom. The grass I'm going to do as a glue layer. Lots of gluing in this one, but don't worry, it's still going to have loads of depth. And then the one on top of that will be a foam layer. The reason I'm gluing this one is so that the grass will look like it's in between all of the mushrooms, so it'll look like it's behind the stalks. Because you'll get that little bit of depth with the next layer. There's that one. This is really thick already and there's still so much to go. Okay, this one next, the stalk of the big mushroom, or toadstool, I think, because it's a mushroom. I don't know. Let me know, what do you think it is? Looks like a fairy mushroom to me. There we go. And now peel the tops off to once again reveal all of that lovely stickiness underneath. Line it up and drop it down. Then when you're happy, push down to seal. And now you can kind of see what I mean about why I wanted that grass to be a bit further back. Okay, now we have toadstool number 2. And this has got, let's try and find it, this solid bit, which is going to be the front. Before we stick that on, we need to glue this larger piece, which is going to go there just to add that extra bit of detail to the mushroom stalk. I'm not sure what this is called. It probably has a name. If you know what it is, leave me a comment. But now I'm going to add this one, and this will be another foam layer because we need to make it look like this little shroom is sitting in front of that big one. Right, let's get that one into place. Drop it down and then push to seal. And now we have a whole lot of glue layers next because we have another mushroom to go. All right, this red layer will be glued, and we're sort of following the same steps now that we did with the big one. So we're going to glue the next 3 layers, including this one, and then the stalk will be a foam layer. And then after that, we have about 1 million layers of leaves to go on the bottom. I have a feeling this might actually stand up by itself when it's finished. It's going to be that thick. The next layer is this one, making up the solid bit in the bottom of the mushroom, or toadstool. I think I'm going to call it a mushroom. Although a mushroom's grey and toadstool's red, I don't know. I probably should have looked that up before I started the video so that I could be calling it the right thing, but I didn't. Next, the detail in the bottom will be a glue layer. If you're struggling to find cardstock in the right colours and you live in the UK, then I get most of my card from craftstash.co.uk. They have so many colours, including all of these lovely earthy reds and browns and things. And they're really good. Their postage is super quick, and I've used them a lot, and I'm always happy with their service. Alrighty, next we've got the stalk, and to stay consistent, this should be a foam layer. This might possibly be the thickest layered design I've ever done. If you're making this to go in a frame, just be very careful that it will actually fit. You might want to use thinner foam squares. These ones say they're 2mm, but I think they're more like 2.5 or even 3, because they are quite thick, thicker than what I'm used to. Or maybe just swap out a few of the foam bits for glue. For example, the 2 stalks you could glue instead. And then I'm going to put on with glue that little bit. It's kind of like a skirt. Right, next we have all of the leaves, and we'll start by gluing on this base piece. Next, we've got the sort of yellowy bit, which is going to go on there. And this one will be a foam layer so that it pops out that. It might be a pine cone, not really sure. But whatever it is, we want to separate it from the green. So a little bit of foam would do just great. And then I've cut some really thin somewhere. Here we go. So if possible, you want to try and get some foam in the ends of the leaves. Otherwise, they're going to be so fragile that they're likely to tear off. Just one little bit in those ends will stop that. Well, might not stop it from happening. It depends how careful you are, but it will definitely help prevent it from happening. And then line that up and stick. And then the next one with those leaves again. This one will be glued. So don't worry, you don't need to try and get them those leaves with the foam on more than once. There. I think it's the stress of all of these layers. Right. See that one on there? Beautiful. Right. One more foam layer. The solid leaf on the front. Get my foam squares, and this is quite a small bit, so I'm only going to put on 3 of these little bits of foam. And stick that one. And then finally is the detail layer for this leaf, which will be a glue layer. This one is quite difficult as it's very narrow. So take your time with your glue, which is something I'm not doing. I'm rushing so that you don't get too bored of me trying to glue. Put that one on there. And there we have it, our autumn woodland toadstools or mushrooms, the jury's out, are all ready. And let's just tilt this to see how thick that is along the bottom. I think, it's actually not going to stand completely the right way around because it's not flat on the bottom. But look, have you ever made a layered design before that just stands up without actually putting it up against something? Because I don't think I have, but there we go. That is a lot of layers, but it's definitely worth it because it looks really, really pretty. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these beautiful autumn toadstools. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and free SVGs. And don't forget, for more autumn designs just like this one, check out my brand new Autumn Mega Bundle, which is currently on sale for just $47 instead of the usual $67. To find out more, head to craftwithsarah.com/bundle-autumn. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!